Hello, October 2nd, 2010. Um, Today I just kind of wanted to do a quick review or look back at the year and a half or so I've been doing this raw food experiment. I started out as a 100-day raw food challenge through a website online and ended up being kind of more of a lifestyle. A lot of things we've integrated into our life. So my husband Darren has kind of come along for the ride with me. I've the one that's kind of delved more into all the research and reading and kind of keep him informed, and he does what works for him and what doesn't, and it's been a good mix. So we've had fun exploring things together. But mainly my reason for kind of examining things lately is because I've had some little challenges, and it's got me thinking about paying more attention to my intuition and less to any specific theory or approach to diet, because I do realize that this world we live in is so different than anything anyone could have imagined back when food was pristine and non-genetically modified, and everything was healthier, or most things were healthier. But today our lifestyle and everything has to be taken into consideration as a factor, and that there is maybe no such thing as perfection, and that raw foods have been or are raw, healthy, whole, organic foods are a method to gaining good health, but they are not the only factor in good health. And so of course, this whole year journey has led me to explore other things. Food has just been a doorway to exploring myself. And but one of the biggest challenges I faced was probably about 8 months or so into this. I did a little experiment with 80-10-10 approach, which is Doug Graham. He wrote a book called 80-10-10, and it's basically a high fruit, mostly fruitarian raw food diet, and 80% carbs, 10% fat, 10% protein, mostly fruit and greens, and very little additional added fat. So I did this for about a month, and I found all of a sudden I was having some of these old behaviors, like overeating and binging and just feeling kind of out of control around food. And this has been 5 years since more than that, since I started losing weight. I've lost over 100 pounds, and I did that with the intent to get a more balanced relationship with food and not live in that eating disordered space that I used to live in. And I'd done that for years. I had felt fairly balanced. There have been times when I'd overeaten or ate a little something I didn't wish I hadn't eaten, but I never had those days of eating to the point of discomfort, or just eating and never feeling like I could fill myself up enough, and just basically emotional crappy stuff I used to deal with. And I'm like, well, why is this happening to me all of a sudden? It was like every 2 weeks I was like having a episode like this, and I thought, oh, it's just the stress of having a toddler and never really getting any time to myself, and or just emotional stuff, I thought. But so I kind of decided, well, maybe I should look at my diet, and because I had been eating like all greens and fruit, so mostly, and little bits of soaked nuts and things, but most of the day I would eat fruit and then have some kind of salad in the evening. And probably like halfway through each day I was feeling like I was literally jonesing, like I just needed a fix, and if I didn't eat right now I was going to lose it. And occasionally I obviously did. And so I obviously realized this isn't working for me, and I did change things. But I do think that a lot of people do this diet successfully, but I think it's more for the more athletic, active kind of person, and maybe that's just it just didn't make me feel balanced. I felt really out of sorts and kind of scared, like, why am I feeling like this all of a sudden? So let's see if it's the food, and I'll change things. So in the last few months I've changed just the balance of things. I don't eat fruit anymore unless I mix it with some greens or in a smoothie. It's more of a condiment. I have maybe 2 to 3 pieces of fruit a day at the most, versus where I was eating 10 to 20 is like the main staple of my diet. And then I've upped my fats. I've had some more like coconuts and avocados and soaked nuts and olives, olive oil. I have a comfortable amount, not amount that it make myself sick or anything, but I use it, comfortably. And that has made me, it's completely turned me around. Like, just the balance I feel. I don't feel that, like, jonesing feeling where I just feel like I gotta eat now or I'm not gonna make it. And also, I was having some sensitivity with my teeth with all the fruit, and I think because I wasn't doing it right, I should have been eating meals of fruit, whereas I was just kind of grazing on fruit all day. So it was just too much sugar on my teeth, and so that alerted me to I needed to pay attention. So that's better, and I'm feeling much more balanced with that. So, and I've also been reading tons more on the whole raw food movement, and really been excited about the people and I've met this year, and the whole consciousness of health, and excited about learning more and connecting with different people. But I've found that the majority of people that do this long-term raw foods tend to stay around 80 or 90% if they do it long-term and are successful. And especially, I think people that prepare food for other people and have children, that's probably more of a comfortable balance, because for me, I'm finding that preparing food for my kids, especially things that I consider healthy, like steamed vegetables or steamed sweet potatoes or something, I don't want to demonize them as not good because they're not raw, and I don't say that to them, but I don't want to have that mentality myself or restrict myself when sometimes it might be just really quick and convenient to have something with them rather than to make my separate thing or whatever. And I also want to have them see me eating with them and not always be separate. So, and I realize I'm not always going to get them to eat what I want. So I realize I probably will need to experiment with different things in the future. I'm in no rush to change anything. I like the way I feel, and definitely the feeling of balance. And I keep saying balance, but it's really what it's about. I just feel more centered and grounded, and my energy level is improving. Of course, if I get enough sleep, sleep's still a challenge, but my energy just overall, especially if I exercise, is improving a little bit. And so that whole little fruit experiment really took me for a turn, and I was kind of doubting things for a while, like, what am I doing? I'm not feeling right. And so I realized that there is some things that work for some people and some that don't, and that just didn't work for me. So I need to continue just exploring and challenging myself and trying different things. But it's, like I said, it's been an exciting year, lots of changes and lots to learn. I think we will pull a lot of what we have learned into I don't think I could ever go back to eating soy nuggets and vegan junk food. That's kind of, but then again, I also want to say, if I ever did, it's not the end of the world. I think, like I said, there's more to life than food, and laughter and all those things are important as well. And so I'm not saying that whatever anyone else chooses is the wrong path. I think I started out 6 years ago or so with the vegan diet, and compared to what I eat now, that doesn't seem healthy. I was eating granola bars and convenience vegan foods and things like that just wouldn't make me feel so great now. But at the time, it was what I needed, and it worked. So I'm totally just open to moving forward in whatever, letting things flow as they may, and not trying to worry so much about having things be perfect, but just feeling like my choices are conscious and made with intention, and that's really what all I'm focusing on in the next little while, is just being conscious and having good intention. So that's where I am. I'm excited to hear about other people's raw food experiences and how, if they do it long term, some of the challenges they may face or some of the changes they may make from the beginning, and so I'd be really interested to hear that. But so I'll be back in the future with an update on any changes I do make or how things progress. So see you next time. Bye bye.